I'm ready.
Got all your props ready?
I've got the puck and I've got the in plain sight shelf here.
Very good. Looks like you got a whole shelf full of stuff behind you there too.
I do. I got a lot of good stuff.
I've got one of those Yetis. We call those Leddies. We don't call them Yetis.
Call them Betties?
Leddies.
Like Leddies?
Talking lead.
Oh, I like it.
Because we have our own shelf and they're Leddies. They keep your drink seconds colder than a Yeti. The talking Leddy.
We'll have to exchange cups.
Get yours today.
I'll grab one of these dehumidifiers just for fun, or maybe I'll just turn it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Hey, I can't see it anymore.
Okay.
All right. You ready to go? You ready to do this?
Let's
do it. All right, lead heads. We are back with another episode of, you should know what it is because you tuned into it, the Talking Lead podcast. If this is not the podcast you were anticipating when you clicked on it, then stick around and listen because we got a great show for you today. And if you didn't get a chance, make sure you go back to our previous episodes. And the one before this, I do believe, was the one where we were covering the FLIOA event in Rhode Island, sponsored by Feds Protection. We had a lot of great interviews on that. We've got more to come from that convention, the 2021 Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association convention. We've got Tour Knives coming up. We've got Geisley Automatics. We've got Sig Sauer, our first interview. Well, actually, we don't have Sig Sauer, so never mind. He wasn't able to do an interview, but they were there. I got some cool swag from them. But maybe one day we'll get Sig on. But several other companies that we were interviewing, and then, of course, we'll get Bill and the guys from FLIOA to give an update on all the awesome things that they are doing to protect our federal law enforcement men and women. And that remind me that I've got a jack wagon for that. When we get to our jack wagons, I forgot about that one, but I'm sure I'll remember it. So joining me today, my guest is... You've probably seen her on YouTube. She's been on a lot of the YouTube channels. And we're going to be talking security, safety, accessories for your safe, all things in those realms with Lockdown. And Renelle Franklin with Lockdown is joining us. Renelle, welcome in.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here. This has been a while in the making. You just... I don't know if this is your first baby or not, but you just became a mother. Is this your first baby?
No, this is my second.
Okay.
And now I'm done. I got a boy, I got a girl, and it's over.
You got one of each. Mission complete.
Yep, boy. And I got my son, and I definitely lost all of my shooting skills. Boy, You don't realize how much shooting a firearm is a use it or lose it skill until you don't get to do it for like a full year.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's those things, one of those mechanics, muscle memories that you got to keep honed and keep tight. You should have listened to some of our previous episodes because we had some dry fire episodes that we had on that you could have been doing while you were.
I did. I actually did listen to that one.
Okay.
And I am a big fan of dry firing. I definitely believe in it, especially just, learning the whereabouts of your own house. But I didn't do enough of it. That's for sure.
Well, other priorities in life, and congratulations on being a mother again. So, was this the boy or was this the girl?
This was the boy. I've got a 3-year-old daughter and now a 2.5-month-old son.
2.5 months. Oh, and you're right back in it, right back in the swing of things. Doing the Talking Lead podcast.
I love my job. I love this industry. It's a passion for me. So I told my husband when we got together, I said, if one of us ever stays home with the kids, it's not me. Just so we're clear on that. And
you just laid it down. I
love being home, but I love being back.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you back, and I've been looking forward to this episode. You guys, Lockdown has a plethora of accessories, as I was saying earlier, for your safe, for your home security, for firearm concealment, and we're going to talk about that. But we want to hear a little bit about you and your background, how you got into this industry. Tell us a little bit about that.
Ooh, how I got into it's kind of fun. I was actually bartending after college. Bartending, traveling, doing all that fun stuff.
Uh-huh.
And one of my friends talked me into applying with the temp agency, and they said, well, do you like guns? And I said, I enjoy guns. And they said, well, why don't you apply for this job for Crimson Trace customer service? I'd never heard of Crimson Trace before. Mm-hmm. Aside from going out and, the back 40 and shooting with my friends, I hadn't really gotten into firearms.
Do you think it was an Alabama Crimson Tide company?
Oh, yeah, honestly, I had to go home and Google it. And, working in customer service for a while, it's amazing how many people call, is this Crimson Tide? No, but I'm sure it's probably the place you're looking for,
Roll Tide.
Yeah, and it was funny. Kevin LaHart, he works over at Vortex now, but he interviewed me, and he's like, well, you're really great. And, I think that this is, I think we're going to offer you the job. And he's like, but how do you feel about this being a temporary position? And I looked at him and said, Kevin, I love it here. I love what you guys are about. And I don't want you to worry. This is not a temporary position. I'm going to stick around.
He's thinking you were making it a stepping stone kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I worked in customer service for a few months, and I just saw what marketing was doing. And, they had the Midnight 3-gun Invitational, and they were just doing such fantastic things and really educating the masses about, the importance of training and using, every piece that you can to a firearm to your advantage, and that's really what laser sights were giving you. And I just really believed in it. And I emailed the director of marketing, and I said, if you ever need help, where my cube's at. And lo and behold, a few years later, I was, the brand manager for Crimson Trace, and we were working. And
nice.
It was great. I loved Crimson Trace. They raised me in this industry. It was an amazing company to work for. Great foundation. And then, I transferred over with American Outdoor Brands to be the brand manager for Lockdown. And it couldn't be more night and day. You're going from on the firearm to everything that goes along with the firearm, but it's been fun. Lockdown is fun.
Yeah, it looks like it. And I love your colors, by the way. I don't know if you stole those from me or not, but that's the talking lead green there.
Right, it's a good one. We'll have to have you do some custom products.
I think we could do some things. Our sponsors, Mission First Tactical, they do these awesome things called dump trays. And you can get logos put on these dump trays, and I use them as armorer's trays. The lead heads know, we use these as armorer's trays.
Yeah, I saw those on your website.
Yeah, so we've got we've got our logo on a few of these, and we do special events like I was telling you, the FLEOA conference. We had some special made up for that, but these make great armorer's trays, not only just dump trays for when you're at night dumping your thing out. We'll talk about getting some of those made with our logos on there. We'll do a little collab with Lockdown.
I love that.
Talking Lead.
And we got to talk about events. You brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing you to an event this year.
Well, let's talk about that offline, because there's some opportunities coming up in January. As a matter of fact, will you guys going to a SHOT Show?
If it happens.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people have that opinion right now that there's some of the larger ones, just like NRA, they're pulling out for their political reasons or whatever. And but the majority of people I'm talking to are like, yeah, I'm in it. As long as they have it, we're going to do it. We're going. Mm-hmm. And I think they should, especially for some of the smaller companies, because it's going to open up an opportunity for some of these smaller companies to get their foot in the door at SHOT Show and really showcase what they can do and what they're doing, what they're about, and really stick it to some of these bigger companies.
Yeah, you're right. I was just talking to somebody about that, how this is, if it does happen, it's going to be a different year. I mean, wholly different. The companies that you're going to see there, it's going to be a pivotal year for a lot of those smaller companies to secure that very valuable space for next year.
Absolutely. And the innovation, to see some of this innovation that's been kind of drowned out by these larger companies, I'm excited for that if it happens, is for them to really showcase and show what they're doing in our industry with guns and gear and accessories and, all the ancillary things that go along with our industry. It's not just guns. Like the safes and the safe accessories and the safety, which we're all about safety here. We preach and teach the training and, the proper storage and safety of your guns as well. So that's why I'm excited about this show today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But before we get into that, Renelle, you know what I hear? I hear that talking lead jackwagon train coming in.
Let's get it.
So, Gunny, bring that train in.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, do or die, hold 'em high at 8th and I. It is time for the Talking Lead Jackwagon of the Week, so brace yourself, baby.
I know, I'm used to him. I can't believe you got him to do it.
He offered. It was amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Our first year at NRA, we were gracious enough to get an interview with him, and we were telling him about this segment that we do, the Talking Lead Jackwagon Train. And he was like really down with that. He goes, that's really cool. He's like, do you send these people a certificate and let them know that they're jackwagons? And, he was just all kinds of things. We're like, well, no, we hadn't thought about that. That would be a good idea. He's like, well, do you have an intro for it? And we're like, no. He's like, do you want one? We're like, yeah, we'd love for you to do one. He goes, all right. He said, is that mic rolling? And he did it right there on the spot. So that intro,
that's insane.
That intro you hear, Gunny did that, NRA floor on the spot, didn't have a script or anything. Just bam.
Dang, that's amazing. That's gold.
Yeah, and then from then on, I mean, he was like, every time we were there, he's like, "Where's those Talking Lead guys? Got to go talk to him." He was an amazing guy. We miss him.
Yeah, definitely miss him.
Yeah. So the train has stationed. And we've got some jackwagons. It's been a while since we've done the jackwagon train, and so there's been a ton that we've probably missed. So Leadhead, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and send me your jackwagon nominations. I've just been so busy traveling, and we've been doing some other things with the AK Corner. We don't normally do it on the AK Corner, so let's get caught up on some jackwagons. So send me that email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and of course our Leadhead Brigade heroes. We want to know who's making a difference in our society, in our industry, and we want to praise them because they don't get the proper recognition from the liberal media these days. We want to make sure that we definitely recognize those people, those products, those services. So do you want to start off with the jackwagon, or do you want me to start us off?
Oh, I mean, I'm happy to start us off because I can't stop.
Well, I know who yours is, so we're going to save that for last.
Oh, it's so good.
I know, and it's going to save the best for last. You know what they say. So
okay, so you start us off.
So I'm going to start us off, and this comes from my home state. I'm here in Tennessee. It says, armed good guys stopping bad guys is a canard, CANARD, which means it's a made-up, false statement. So just to read you, and this comes from Guns America Digest. Tennessee State Rep Steve Cones, a member of the House Judiciary Committee, doesn't believe that good guys with guns stop bad guys with guns in America, like ever. That's not a quote. I don't think he said that, but it says, no joke, and here's a quote. Show me a case, please. We didn't have them in Memphis, where a good man or woman with a gun protected and stopped the use of a weapon, end quote, said the Democrat recently. That canard doesn't occur. That just, and then he paused, that dog won't hunt, he insisted. So he's trying to show his Tennesseeism there, I guess, that he's a good old Southern boy, which he ain't. Republican Cone, you or your handlers need to start reading Guns America. We report on defensive gun use stories all the time. Instances where citizens use firearms to protect themselves and their loved ones from armed perps who wish to do them harm. We even have a hashtag, DGU, to make it easy for readers to reference these accounts. Go ahead, click the hashtag. Not only will you find one account, you'll find hundreds. So there you go. So Guns America Digest has that hashtag, so you guys can look that up. Defensive gun use is what the DGU stands for. Oh, yes, they go on to say, and you might find this interesting. This is the FBI Uniform Crime Report for 2020. According to the data presented, armed private citizens killed more criminals during the commission of a felony last year than law enforcement. Per the numbers, armed good guys terminated 343 suspected felons while police fatally shot 298. And that's just what was reported. And it says, as of our friend Alan Gottlieb, chairman of the Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms, observed with respect to the FBI's report, The use of deadly force is not something anybody wants, but neither is being injured or killed by some thug during a violent criminal act. So there you go. State Rep Steve Cohen of Tennessee, Democrat, welcome to the Talking Lead jackwagon train. I mean, that's just a perfect case of the left, again, with their agenda, ignoring the facts. The facts are out there. They're very well stated. It's documented. Even the FBI has documented cases of good guys stopping bad guys with guns. Very good.
He's never going to live it down. I don't understand how people can get up in front of the world and say things like that are so erroneous.
But they do it every day.
Yeah.
Every single day. They do this. I don't get it.
Can't fix stupid.
you just can't. But yeah, a good report. If you guys want to read the rest of that article, gunsamericadigest.com, and it's there. So there's a jackwagon. That's a good jackwagon there. So I was telling you earlier, I had another jackwagon. What was I talking about when I had that jackwagon? I was like, remind me that I got another jackwagon.
I remember you saying, remind me.
Right? I was like, and I got a jackwagon for that.
I'll have a middle of the show jackwagon.
Oh, here's what it was. So I attended the FLEOA National Conference, Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association National Conference, which I've attended for the past 4 years. And my avid listeners know that I support our law enforcement, military men and women without question. Now, do I support the laws that they have to enforce from time to time? No. You know, there are some laws that I've wholeheartedly, strongly disagree with. But the fact that, you know, they're in that position, you know, they can't change law. They don't make law. They just enforce it, and that's their jobs. And you can't fault them for that. You can fault some of them for the, the enthusiasm maybe that they might enforce some laws.
That's a good word.
Yeah. So I had a comment on my episode, my last episode. Somebody up in North Utah or something like that. It was on YouTube. But basically how much, you know, they F the federal police, basically. Well, I mean, I kind of get that to a certain extent, but I don't think it's the men and women that you're upset with. You're upset with the laws. And, you know, and I get that. And so are a lot of us. And I just wanted to get that out there. Not necessarily calling that guy a jackwagon, but at the same time, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're brand new to listening to this podcast, go back to my past episodes and you'll know that I wholeheartedly, this podcast, Talking Lead, wholeheartedly supports our law enforcement, military men and women, and I don't think it's them that this guy was upset with. So
that's a really great way to put it. That was very well said.
Well, I don't know. I just wanted to get it out there. But I do like your comments, so always feel free to speak your mind. I don't filter my social media stuff. So if you leave a comment, I'll leave it up to, you know, the listeners to get into a back and forth. You know, dialogue is good. People should talk about their thoughts, their differences, not just dismiss them. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. I'm going to throw that out there. So let's counter that. Before we get to the big jackwagon, let's counter that with a hero.
All right.
And Winsome Sears, she is the new lieutenant governor for Virginia, and I think I've got a picture of her up here. She, probably you've seen the pictures floating around on the internet where she's holding an AR-15. She's from Jamaica, so she immigrated here from Jamaica legally. She joined the United States Marine Corps, and she is a pro-gun advocate, it appears. Now, I don't know much about her, but I think for Virginia, this is probably a great lieutenant governor for them to have. I'm going to share my screen here for our people that are watching on the video. So this is her. Here's that picture of her with the AR-15.
Whose is it?
I don't know. I can't see what brand it is, and it looks like it's an aim point It's got Magpul pop-up sights, Magpul furniture. But she's got it turned around. The other side's got the manufacturer on it. But being a former Marine, I don't know if that's how they teach them to hold an AR in the Marines, but I doubt it. I think it's more for show. But anyway, I mean, I commend her for going public with that. And there was a quote that she had that kind of went along with this jackwagon Tennessee guy. Anyway, she is our hero, and the people who voted her and the governor in Virginia are heroes. So good job, Virginia.
Fantastic. I love that she's using that, she's unabridged, just showing it. I mean, that's amazing.
Out there doing it. And Jamaican, immigrated from Jamaica. The ultimate success story here. Marine veteran Winsome. Here it is. Marine veteran Winsome Sears becomes first female and woman of color elected as Virginia's lieutenant governor. Our 2A rights protect us, and as an immigrant from a third world country, I value them. There's a quote right there. That's not the one I was looking for, but that is a good quote from her. So there is our Leadhead Brigade hero. Welcome to the Leadhead Brigade Lead Force 1, Winsome Sears. And here's our big jackwagon of the week, and I don't think anybody's going to be surprised about this one. And I think it's going to lead to some discussion between us here. So, Renelle, you have the floor.
We got to talk about Alec Baldwin shooting people.
Bam! There it is.
I mean, come on. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, the top to bottom, front to back, it's all garbage.
So, for those who don't know and have been in the dark, Alec Baldwin was shooting this movie called Rust. It was a Western. And this has been a few weeks ago. So he was I think it was in between shoots. They got the prop gun. He was practicing his scene, and he fired off the rounds, the guns, which was supposed to have been blanks, and he shot the cinematographer, the lady that was doing the camera, and I guess the director or somebody else got partially shot or wounded. I haven't really got a clear, concise what happened to that guy yet. But it killed the cinematographer, and of course he goes on his big campaign now of boo-hoo, pitiful me, blah, blah, blah. Of course, he was anti-gun to begin with.
So, and that's really what I've got to say is the jackwagon of the day, right? Because one of the points that I think hit me so hardcore with this was most of the people who are against firearms but then choose to utilize firearms as, props.
Glorify them in movies, in theater.
Yeah, those are where the accidents happen, right? Because what happened was the assistant director grabs one of these prop guns, hands it over, and says, it's cold. But he's not a gun guy. He doesn't check it. Baldwin, not a gun guy. He doesn't check it. And he just starts doing his thing. Any person who was firearms trained out of habit would have checked it.
Right.
But it's those anti-gun people who don't know anything about firearms and then choose to handle firearms. That's when accidents happen.
Yeah, and I'm not defending this any way whatsoever. But yes, I mean, if he would have been educated on the basic firearm safety rules, treat a weapon as if it's always loaded. Even if somebody hands you one, you recheck and make sure that it's unloaded. Never point it at someone or something unless you plan on destroying it. Know what your target is and what's beyond your target. Keep your booger hook off the bang switch until you're ready to go boom. But if they would just, instead of being so anti about it and learn proper gun safety, and he's been in all these movies too, so you would think he would have some sort of learning. Maybe he just got complacent, took it for granted. I don't know. I'm not defending the guy. I'm not defending any of the people on that movie at this point because I've not heard enough about what actually happened. And I really feel for the armorer in this situation. She was like a 24-year-old, just kind of getting into it, started kind of deal. But here's the thing too, you say check those rounds that they use. Just looking at it, how are they going to know if it's real or not real? I mean, there should be a certain color and all that. But but here's the thing on the armorer. It says Rust Armorer, her name's Hannah Gutierrez Reed's attorney, has issued a new statement just hours after he suggested in TV interviews that someone may have been trying to sabotage the film's set before a fatal shooting last month. His attorney Jason Bowles said Gutierrez Reed, she's 24, doesn't know how a live bullet got inside the gun. Well, I mean, that's her sole purpose in that job, for one, before the October 21 shooting, which occurred as actor Baldwin was practicing pointing the weapon at the camera lens. The gun didn't discharge. Alec Baldwin pulled the trigger and discharged the gun. The gun did not discharge. Alec Baldwin discharged the gun. So I want to make that clear. Killing cinematographer Helena Hutchins and wounding director Joel Souza, who was standing behind Hutchins. Before Baldwin began rehearsing the scene, assistant director Dave Halls removed the weapon from a cart and said it was a cold gun, meaning that it had no live rounds in it. According to court records obtained by these people who are writing this article, Gutierrez Reed had loaded the weapon with rounds from a box of dummy prop ammunition. I'm using finger quotes. Never in a million years did Hannah think that live rounds could have been in the dummy round box. And I'm pretty sure they're distinctive on how they look and everything. Who put those in there and why is the central question. Hannah kept guns locked up, including throughout lunch on the day in question, and she instructed her department to watch the cart containing the guns when she was pulled away for her other duties during lunch break. Hannah did everything in her power to ensure a safe set. Did she?
Yep.
She inspected the rounds that she loaded into the firearm that day, and I'm not disputing that maybe she didn't do this either. She inspected the rounds that she loaded into the firearms that day. She always inspected the rounds. She did again right before handing the firearm to Mr. Halls by spinning the cylinder and showing him all of the rounds, and then handing him the firearm. No one could have anticipated or thought that someone would introduce live rounds into this set. So, again, I'm not familiar with the Hollywood dummy rounds or anything like that or how they look, but and the primer and the firing cap, when you look at the back of a wheel gun, you're just seeing the back of the round. You're not seeing the whole bullet. So should she have taken each one out and inspected it again? Probably.
Yeah.
But she just took it for granted that nobody had tampered with it and that it was good. And, the primers probably look the same on a dummy round as they do a live round because there still has to be some sort of ignition and, pop. But I don't know. Again, so I'll have to get some experts on the show and we'll go in more detail on this. We've had, the Leviathan Group, who provides firearms to movie sets, on the show. I know some prop masters that I can talk to, maybe get them on the show too and talk about this in more detail. But there's not a lot of details coming out at this point, so I don't know. I can't say it's this person's fault or that person's fault or this should have been done or that should have been done. But the whole thing definitely is jackwagonery and deserves ride on the jackwagon train.
Yeah. Well, and, to your point, I don't think in this situation it is one person's fault, right? I mean, there is, because as all firearms owners know, and that it takes multiple things to go wrong for an accident to happen.
Yeah, that's why there's a chain of accountability.
Yeah. Yep. That's why there's 4 rules of firearm safety, because even if you're missing one, the other 3 will still keep you safe.
Yeah.
You missing one, and that's the thing. If that firearm went through multiple hands, if every one of those hands did what we do as firearms owner, which is check and double check and make sure that we're following those rules, this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Proper training. And, that's one thing that I have always been about in this industry is training and, proper firearm knowledge. And that's why I'm really so passionate about lockdown is, keeping people safe and keeping firearms safe.
Yeah.
It takes both.
Yeah, and if, like you said, if they would have followed those rules, each person that handled that gun followed the rules, then this could have been avoided. Even if somebody was trying to sabotage, because once she handed it to him, again, she should have checked those rounds. Another rule maybe for movie props that needs to be thrown in there. Always double check your rounds. But it's sad, it's definitely sad. And the sad part about it is this is going to come back on the firearms community, the firearms industry.
Like in that one article, the gun went off.
Yeah, just the way they word things. Yeah, it's those little things that, just this is going to come back to the firearms, the firearm itself, and people are going to villainize it. And, boo-hoo, poor Alec Baldwin. Guns don't kill people. Alec Baldwin does.
Please, can we put that on a shirt?
Have you seen that meme? Oh, and another one. I saw this one the other day. A student of the gun posted this and had a picture of Abraham Lincoln sitting there. And it said, "Never trust an actor with a gun." And it's, quote, Abraham Lincoln, probably.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love the internet.
Priceless. Yeah. So there you go. If you guys want to know more about that, or if you've got more information, you got some maybe inside scoop you want to share with me, talkinglead@gmail.com. Maybe we can do a whole episode on it. I don't know. I don't know if it's that interesting or not, but it definitely is something that we need to keep our eye on, because it is going to come back against the firearms industry.
Well, and I do think you should do a whole episode just on how prop firearms work, because there's so many different levels and different parts and pieces, the bullets, the targets. That would
make a great episode. We did one on video game firearms, how they do that, the sounds and the sights and the ammo and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll do one on that. That's a great. We'll have you on for it too.
Just so I can listen.
Just so you can listen and go, oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, they did jack up. They are jack wagons. So, there you go. That is enough for the jack wagon train. Going to get that train out of here. And Lead Force One, take Miss Sears for a ride around the flagpole there in our plush G10 Lead Force One. Now we want to learn more about lockdown. As we were talking about, safety and security, that's kind of where a jack wagon comes into play. And talk about lockdown, how they got started, and what you guys are doing for the firearms community in the safety realm.
Yeah, so lockdown got started before I came on the scene. I've been with lockdown for just about 2 years now, and they said, how about you be the brand manager for lockdown? And I said, well, who's lockdown? And come to find out, lockdown has been around for over a decade now, and we are the number one vault accessory company out there. If you've got a vault, you probably own something lockdown, whether it's a silica gel or a door organizer or a handgun organizer. Everybody owns lockdown. Nobody just knew who it was. So that's been my mission for the last 2 years, is just let people know that lockdown's who they've been trusting and who they want to trust as we move forward and move into bigger and better products than just those oldies but goodies.
Yeah, and just so there's no misunderstanding, lockdown doesn't make the safes. They make the safes more safe.
Yeah, we protect
they make your safe more safe
from things like historically it was humidity control. We did the silica gels. We made sure that when they're stored, they were stored safely. We have always been about firearms safety and security inside your vault, however you're storing them. Lockdown is the accessory company.
There you go. And we're going to talk about some of the newer products that Lockdown has out. And I've got a couple of those now. You were so gracious enough to send them to me and let me try them and test them out. And, I warned you, if you want something broken, send it to me, because I break everything.
And that is what we want. We want you to break it so we can fix it and we can build it better.
So I've got it on my board behind me. It's the puck, and I've got a big magnet behind it, so I don't want to pull it off. But let's talk about the puck and what the puck is offering our listeners in additional safe security and home security?
Yeah, so the puck is fantastic. I mean, there's really no other way for me to put it. So we launched it in 2020, and in that time, it won 2 awards. It won the Guns and Ammo Product of the Year, and it won the Shooting Illustrated Product of the Year, also Gun Tech of the Year.
Nice.
Yeah. So what the puck is, right? You download, it pairs with our Lockdown Logic app. And anywhere you put that, it's going to, on your phone, track temperature, humidity, tampering. It comes with a door sensor, so it can tell you whether a door has been opened or closed. And this was specifically designed for the vault, right? You take your standard vault in your garage, in your basement, wherever, it's out of sight, out of mind most of the time. Well, this is bringing you this level of security that tells you, not only are your firearms safe from the elements, but also intruders. Is somebody jogging your door trying to get in there? Did somebody actually get in there? And it'll send you these notifications to your phone. Once we developed it for the vault, we realized that there's, people don't always store their handguns in a vault, right? You might have it in your bedside drawer. The in plain sight furniture is a huge phenomenon. Lockdown, we came out with our own, in plain sight shelf that we're giving away on the show. But there's other products out there, and it's really funny. I don't think people realize that they worry about temperature and humidity in their vault, and then they go buy this in plain sight furniture, they throw their guns in there, and they don't think about the temperature and humidity anymore.
Yeah, right.
So the puck is really, that's, I think, one of my favorite places to use it is in that in plain sight furniture. It's in your living room. Not only is it telling you if the humidity is too high in there, because you probably don't have silica running in your living room, but the added level of security, as you mentioned with kids. I've got 2 babies at home. They see me open up the shelf, use my magnetic latch, pull it down. They know that there's stuff in there, and, kids are curious. And you never know, they could go over there and they could be trying to open the shelf. An intruder could break in and, bump the shelf or, anything. And the puck is the only way that you're going to get a notification and get that higher level of security from those products.
Yeah, it's a great notification system, I guess I want to say. It also has a deterrent feature as well that you can set. So it's got several different settings that you can set up with this. And I've kind of been playing around with some different scenarios and whatnot, because you sent me another one of your products. It's called the plug. And they work in conjunction with one another. They can work. So it basically turns your plugs in your house into smart plugs. So it turns your house into a smart house, a smart home, which mine is not. I got a stupid home. My garage door just broke. Other things going on. But anyway, so I like the fact that your products also integrate with one another, and you can combine the things, the products to work with one another. And you can, the mind's, your imagination is the limit on this stuff. But I was talking about your puck, so talk about the different modes that you have for the puck.
Yeah, so the puck is really, he's the smart one out of the 2. The puck will track your temperature, track your humidity. As you mentioned, it has an audible alarm that's just annoying enough that, if somebody is messing with your in plain sight shelf, or you can take this thing anywhere that there's Wi-Fi. So especially for you and I, when we go to SHOT Show and, say we've got to take some guns back to our room because, shipping went off, you could throw one of these in your Pelican case, and it's going to be the only way if the maid or somebody's in your room or somebody's broken into your room and is stealing that Pelican case.
Right, because it'll send an email notification, it'll send a text notification, and then the app itself, I think, just notifies your phone when it's on your when it's just on your phone there too. Yeah. So, and you can set all this up how you want. So if you want to set a level, and sensitivity is another thing, you can set the levels of sensitivities. And if somebody is just, maybe they're trying to shake your case open, so you'll get a notice on that, or you can set it to alarm if you want to, or if impact. So if like somebody's actually trying to break into it, so you set the sensitivity to maybe a little bit higher on that, to where that's when the alarm goes off, where you just get a notice maybe if they're shaking it, and then you could manually turn the alarm on if you wanted to as well from your app. So there's so many different options that I like about this. It can go, we could go on for days and days on the different combinations of things that you could do with this. But when I got it and I started going through and you started telling me everything that it would do, that's what my mind does. It just starts churning. Oh, I could do this and I can do that. And with the plug, then I could, have a whole nother level of I could plug it into my lamp or a light source. And that when the alarm goes off, then a light also comes on and it flashes in the person's eye or, whatever.
Yeah, or, the puck is in your vault. And, dehumidifier rods are one of those products that Lockdown has been tried and true on for a long time, but they're kind of just this constant running machine. Now you can put the puck in your vault and plug your dehumidifier rod into the plug, and the puck will tell the plug when it needs to turn on and turn that dehumidifier on for you.
There you go.
So it's, they're great products. As you mentioned, they're both controlled by the same app. There's no fees for the app. It's there. You can have as many Lockdown products as you want, which is great because we keep coming out with more of them. The puck was our first. The plug's coming out in January as our second. And then
you got the big daddy roll, coming
please.
Out.
We've got the big bang.
The door. Yeah.
We've got the door. So, it's going to keep coming. So, you want, we're determined to keep that app free, to keep it so you can have as many products as you want. You should have multiple pucks because people don't, you keep your firearms in more than just one place around your house.
Yeah. And I want to get into some of our listener questions too here in a minute because they're going to address probably a lot of these things that we're going over. But the car, your vehicle. If for some reason you need to leave your firearm in your vehicle, then this gives you another level of awareness if someone's trying to steal it in your vehicle.
So the puck runs off Wi-Fi. You can take it anywhere that Wi-Fi is available. So as we mentioned, you can really put it anywhere around your home. You can bring it to your hotel room, when you're out and about, but that's one way that we keep it free to you is, because it's connecting to Wi-Fi.
So you could have a hotspot in your car.
Absolutely. And a lot of the newer cars have Wi-Fi. It's, it's all possible. It's amazing what new technologies are coming out every single day.
Right. Yeah. And then you got the Wi-Fi extenders and, all that you can increase it in your home, the security in your home. You said this is designed for the safe. And, but there are so many other applications that you could put this on. You could put it on your windows, you could put it on, you
can put it in your toolbox.
Your toolbox is another, that's another thing I was going to get into.
You could put it on the door to your recording studio because you have a lot of really expensive equipment in there.
Right. Or if I've got a room that I don't want a kid in, maybe a pantry, and I got a little fat kid that eats too much. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
There are endless possibilities that you can do, but it's specifically set up for firearms and firearm safety and notification. But
it is, and for right around $100, that peace of mind it's given you, the adaptability. Why not?
Yeah, and it'll run on batteries, or you can plug it in with your adapters, your phone adapters, the USB adapter. So if you've got a plug in your safe, you're not going to have to worry about changing out the batteries every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however long those batteries last. So you get the option there. But
the great thing is, the app also monitors the battery consumption. So, if you are trying, different power sources, I have people who successfully use power banks. Yeah. And they'll plug it into a power bank. We do recommend having it constantly using a constant power source just because it is a security product. And, I don't want it to run out of batteries or anything.
Yeah.
But, there are scenarios where, maybe in your hotel room, you don't have an outlet next to the door or anything. So batteries work well. It will tell you how much battery life you have. It'll send you a notification if the batteries are going to die.
Okay. So notify you on that?
It will notify you. So, that takes care of a lot of that. And it does open up those scenarios where, power banks, rechargeable batteries, we have not tested those things. So we can't speak to, and there's so many different kinds that we can't speak to what sort of dependability you're going to see. But, that's what the app's there for, that if, it's losing connection, if the battery's dying, the app's going to notify you. Mm-hmm. Same thing with if the Wi-Fi goes down. That's a lot of the questions we get with our products is, being an app-based product now, what happens if the Wi-Fi goes down? What happens if the power goes out? the app's going to notify you.
Yeah.
The app will search and see if its products are, are your products online? Are your products doing what they're supposed to do? And if it senses anything out of place, that's when you receive a notification.
Yeah. So I've got mine set up here. And like I said, I've got it back here behind me on my banner. And if I did this right, we're going to test it. So I just armed it. I turned it on. It's blinking. So I think I got it on. Let me make sure. So I'm going, and you can see that I got it armed. I'm going to disarm it just to make sure. You heard it beep.
Mm-hmm.
See? So I disarmed it there. And I'm doing this all through the app. I'm going to arm it. And I don't know if everybody can see this or not, but I've got my temperature. It's telling me my temperature there. So if I had some sort of a thing set up for notifications on that, it would tell me about that. But at a glance, I can just look and see how everything is. Humidity. And now I'm going to go to the logic, which this is where you can set up different scenarios, notification scenarios with your puck. And if you've got the plug, with the plug. And it's called Logic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the way I've got mine set up, click on it. So you put your puck, which puck you're setting up. What's the trigger event? So what's going to send you the notification or make the alarm go off or whatever it is, you set that here. So I've got mine on tampering. And then I've also got it tied in with the plug. If you got a plug there you could hold up and then show them what the plug looks like.
I do.
Yeah. And this is just a 3-prong plug. You plug it into your wall. You can plug it into, or you can plug an extension cord into it as well, because I've tested it with an extension cord, power adapter strips with multi-ports, and it worked on that. So
Christmas is coming up.
That's right.
Christmas lights.
Christmas lights. So you can turn them off and on when you're not at home, not have to worry about whether they're on or off. And then I've got the action to, when the alarm goes off, I've got a light set up on it that it'll come on. So let's see if I did this right. I probably screwed it up, but because I do that often. But we're going to try it. So I've got everything armed, everything on, just to make sure. Yep. So if I tamper with it, I tampered with it. So it's going off, but my light didn't go off. Go on. I probably did something wrong. But then I can go and I can turn it off. So I'm in, let's say, where do you live? Missouri?
Yeah.
So I'm in Missouri.
Columbia, Missouri.
And I get, my alarm goes off. I get a notification on my phone, which it did send me the notification. See right here? I get it. I got it set up to send me an email. And I've also got it set up to send me a text notification. And it says tampering detected. And I can click on that and it'll go to my device. And then I can turn it off, arm it. I can manually turn on the light if I didn't have it set up to automatically go off. So I'm just doing that with the touch of a button. My light's coming on, coming off, just by me controlling it here. You could have it hooked up to a radio, too, to make a lot of noise, like in Home Alone. Or a TV to blare loud music or something for an intruder.
Yeah, have your own Home Alone setup, just using the smart plugs.
The smart plugs in the puck. So there it is. I did something wrong.
Well, as you mentioned, this is one of our newer products coming out. And
I've only had a couple of days to play with it, too, so... In my defense.
Vault accessories, that's what Lockdown's bread and butter are, right?
Yeah.
But smart vault accessories, the Puck was the first one that we ever did. And, we learned a lot. And there's a lot that goes into app development and, product development when it comes to all that stuff. And it's really been an interesting last 2 years. The Plug is the second product in the line that's going to launch. It's going to be available in January. Right now, we're in our testing period, and what we incorporated to make sure that, going into the firearms industry, we're putting out the most reliable products, is we incorporated a pilot testing program.
Yeah.
And so that consumers, you consumers can access our product before they're launched, get them at a good deal, and just do some live testing for us, and try and find any of those glitches or any of those things that we can correct before we ever put them out into the market. So we're excited. We're actually in the pilot testing period right now for the Plug. People like yourself who are really good at breaking things are our favorite. And we're excited about the product that will launch because of the things that you're doing.
I think I didn't have it turned on. I think that's why it didn't go off. I'm going to try it one more time. Device. I'm going to set it for... there it goes.
Boom.
There it went. Well, that worked. I think I need to turn the sensitivity up a little bit.
There's and as you mentioned, there's a million ways you can slice this thing, right? We wanted to give our consumers as much customization as possible, because there are unlimited ways that you can use this Puck.
Yeah.
But with more customization does come a little bit of users, just kind of getting there and playing around and
this will evolve as more people start using it, because you'll get customer feedback on features that they would like it to do, and so it's going to evolve and improve. The innovation, that's what we like on this show, and that's what Lockdown is. They're a very innovative company, not only with this Puck, but the other products that you offer as well. With the dehumidifiers, you've got several different products for the dehumidification in your safe. You've got the concealment with the furniture, then you've got the magnets also, which I think are great. The concealment magnets where I could have one under here, and I could have my gun on that magnet, and then just readily access it with that magnet.
You should have one under there with a gun on it.
Well, I don't. I don't have one under here.
I'll have to fix that.
But yeah, I mean, you could put these endless places again. And then the organization, that's another thing that you guys offer, is organization within the safes. So you offer all sort of different vault drawers, hanging organizers. You've got the pistol racks that you offer. Talk a little bit about some of the organization products that you guys offer.
We want to really be all-encompassing when it comes to what do you need for inside your vault. As you mentioned, we don't sell the actual vaults themselves.
Not
so
yet.
We just want to make sure that once you buy your vault, that we're your one-stop shop for everything else that you need. It's like you mentioned, the organization systems, barrel or, butt down storage, long gun storage, door storage, different lighting options for, different size vaults. One of the most interesting products that we have that I think are super underrated because they are just kind of ugly, but are gun socks. I think we all kind of have those firearms that we don't pull out that often.
Yeah.
And gun socks are a fantastic way to just make sure that they're safe.
You guys offer gun socks?
Yeah, we got gun socks.
Okay. I missed that.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the market for a couple of gun socks. So.
Yeah, we've got them, and they, I never really would have thought to use them, but because you have those firearms that sit in the back of the safe. This keeps them safe from the elements, but also just safe from getting all banged up.
I've got a sock right here. It's not one of yours, but this is what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're fantastic. And, we have ones for handguns, ones so that you can actually leave your scoped rifle on there and just fit the whole thing in there.
Oh, a little wider sock. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
So yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything. And, we, at the end of the day, Lockdown is always going to be a firearms supporter. We are always going to put firearms first. And that's what, we really drew a hard line in the sand as we moved into these smart products. Is we're not trying to be just another smart product company. We are right now the only smart company that is 100% about supporting 2A. Ring isn't going to come out and say they love firearms.
Yeah.
We are a smart company, and we absolutely love firearms, and that's what we want. We want to bring smart security monitoring, giving you that competitive edge into the 21st century. Instead of this very archaic vault. The vault that you have today is pretty similar to the vault your father had.
Yeah, there's not, other than the digital technology and the wireless technology, there's not a lot have changed with vaults. So, but
no,
that's the great thing about your product, is that it'll work with any vault.
Exactly. You don't have to, and it's $100. You don't have to go buy another couple $1,000 vault and then pay a couple $1,000 to ship it. You can go buy a $100 product that brings that vault into what we're used to now, which is app-based products.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as we were developing our vault doors. I mean, I know that that's really what everybody wants to talk about. That's what everybody's excited about, including myself. I mean, these things are fantastic.
Well, let's talk about them. Let's talk about the
doors.
Let's talk about them. Let's talk about the vault doors. Let me find one.
They historically have, kind of been a cumbersome thing. Whenever you went on there, they're very heavy. It requires, a harder level of install. A lot of times you had to have a professional company come out and do it for you. And we wanted to make, just like our vault accessories, a very user-friendly, high-tech product that's affordable. I mean, the cost on these doors is what most people will pay for a standard vault.
Mm-hmm.
So should we start at the beginning?
Let's start at the beginning, yeah.
These doors are meant to replace any door in your home. If you've got a full room that you can dedicate to turning into a vault, great. If you've got a closet that, just an oversized closet where you would like more ample storage, all you have to do is rip out that door and rip it down to studs. And then this door comes fully encased in its own insert. You slide it in, you bolt it into any sort of 2x4 studs, or with the bunker, you can do cement or cinder block. And you now have, a vault door and a secure storage. My favorite part, I guess I have a lot of favorite parts about this guy, but one of my favorite parts is, we recognized that not all firearms consumers are, down with the new smart products.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose whether or not you want to hook this door up to Wi-Fi. If you don't want to hook it up to Wi-Fi, you can put it in there. It's got that digital keypad, like you mentioned. It's got a flushed, recessed handle in case you want to put this behind, a mirror or a bookcase, or really conceal it. Or if it's somewhere down a hallway, you're not running into a handle. But it's got a flush mount handle, and you can just have a 4 to 9 digit access code. You can give it multiple access codes. It's going to give you a temperature humidity readout right there on the front of the monitor, and you've got a secure room. And if you choose to connect it to Wi-Fi, choose to download our free Lockdown Logic app, you're going to get a lot of that same functionality that we talked about with the puck. It's going to notify you if the temperature and humidity gets in an unsafe range. It's going to allow you to know whenever somebody has opened that door, because you can give a code to any person that you want. Mm-hmm. You can have an access code for every member of your family. And that way, not only know if somebody goes in your vault, but who, is it one of the kids? Is it the wife? Who's accessing it? And that way you can call them and say, hey, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm. Now, what it won't do is you can't remotely unlock it. Talk about that.
That's something we went back and forth on a lot. It's one of the first things that people ask about when I tell them that, this is tied to an app is, can I unlock my door from it, like sitting across the room? And it sounds like a really neat thing. And, it does sound desirable. But as we sat down and we're talking about it with our engineers, technology, your phone can get hacked. Most people, when they are told to put a passcode on their phone, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or it's all 4 corners. People don't take, I think, their phone as seriously about security as, we probably should. I'm included in that as well. So your phone can get hacked. People can access, your information. We wanted to make sure that if that ever did happen, that the Lockdown Logic app would never put you at risk. If somebody did hack your phone, if somebody did access your Logic app, they are not able to open your door. even if they access the puck that's in your vault, they're still not able to get into the vault. They may be able to arm or disarm it, but that's not going to compromise your safety, your security. We don't store any of your personal information in there. All this app and these products can do is give you more safety and security. The app cannot harm you.
Now, are these doors available now for purchase?
No, they are not. It would have been really good Christmas presents this year, but unfortunately, no, they are pushed out until about April of next year is when we're going to see them available for consumer purchase.
Okay.
As I mentioned, and this is going to be special for your listeners, as I mentioned, we are doing a pilot program for all of our products where you can gain early product access for a discounted rate, a few months before the product is due. So if they sign up for our email service on lockdown.com, they will get a notification when these are available for pilot testing.
Okay. So go to lockdown.com, sign up for their newsletter, and then that makes them automatically eligible to be one of the first to get this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you make these in different sizes as well because of different size door frames and different size safes, and you can go to their website. Again, it's lockdown, lockdown.com, and under their safe doors, and it says coming soon, and it's got them all right there. What I really like about this is that the door itself and turning a room into a safe. Instead of buying just a safe, I can make a whole room locked down with a safe door. And just have the security and everything that you just mentioned that goes along with that.
As you mentioned with the puck, we designed this product and it's 100% designed with firearms in mind. But then as it's developed, we're like, wow, there's actually a lot of other uses for this. Just a secure room in your home for your family in general.
Yeah.
You can, with a whole room, you don't have to think just firearm storage. I mean, we all do think firearm storage, but, it could be, just keeping all your valuables in there in general. And then, like you mentioned with windows, a vault room can be as simple or as extravagant as you like. As we're working with people to build their vault rooms, some people are, going in and reinforcing all their drywall. Some are having cinder blocks brought in to, really reinforce it that way. Some are just turning an oversized closet into a vault, for right around $2,000 to have an entire walk-in closet, that's completely secured storage.
Yeah. Or if you got a basement room or something along those lines. Now, let me ask you this. If you get inside of it and close it and lock it, can you, is there a way to access from the inside to unlock it?
The inside, we actually put a manual handle to get out.
Okay.
So that way, there's never any way you could get locked into your vault room because it's a manual handle that you pull up and slide over and you can get out.
So follow me. So let's say there's a home intrusion and the wife and the kids, or the kids are there by themselves, and you make this safe room. Would this be an option for an actual safety room, to where you could go in, lock yourself in, and an intruder would not be able to the door, through the door?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just thinking outside the box here. Is that another thing that?
It is. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. A safe room, that's, if the room's safe enough for your guns, it's safe enough for your family, right? I mean, if somebody breaks into my house, I want to run to the room that has my guns in it. And, we've put this thing through some serious torture testing. I mean, we took sledgehammers to this thing to try and get in there. We actually gave one to a law enforcement agency, a bomb squad, and had them, light some explosives on it to see what it would take to get in there. And, it took I didn't see anybody successfully break into the door.
Yeah.
Those 8 locking bolts, really did it.
Absolutely.
And one of the questions that we get is like, okay, well, what if I don't reinforce my room? What if I do just leave drywall on either side of it? And, people are just going to go through the drywall.
Are they going to go to that effort, though? Really?
And that's kind of where I go. Like, how many robberies have you heard where it's like, they decided to go through some drywall?
I mean, if it's somebody breaking in your house to rob your house, they don't want any interference. So if you're locked up safe in a room, then they're not going to worry about you. Then they're going to go through and they're going to get their stuff and they're going to get out as quick as possible. So it gives you that opportunity. Now, I mean, is it a serial murderer breaking into your house and that's their goal is to murder and kill you? Then again, if it's your safe room and you've got guns in there, it gives you that time. It gives you time. So you can call the police and you can stay there and have the opportunity for the police to come. But if they do break through, then you've got your firearms or whatever in there to defend yourself.
Yeah, bring it on.
But the odds of somebody wanting to go to that effort to break into that room after you're in that safe, they're going to be out of sight, out of mind. They're going to get their stuff and they're going to go, and then everybody's lives to fight another day.
Yeah, and there's, as you mentioned with the puck, you can set the different levels of sensitivity. So if somebody, say you weren't home and somebody was breaking in and they see this vault room, well, they want to get in there and they start, going through the drywall next to the vault door. It's going to send you that same notification that you received with your puck, that it senses motion. It senses that vibration.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it. This is options. So we have options here, and I love options. So adding additional options to your home security, your safe security, just peace of mind is great. And I love what Lockdown's doing, the innovation that you're bringing to give options to homeowners, to firearm owners. I love it.
What sets Lockdown apart is, and one thing that I really, really love about this company is all the people who work from start to finish on these products are end users. All these guys, they love going shooting on the weekends. They're going hunting. We're going to the range. We're going to events. We all want one of these doors in our home. So when we're sitting back and we're developing these, it's not well, what should we put on this? It's what do we want? What features do we want? What features do we not want? Going back to the being able to open the door from your room, that was a really long discussion.
Yeah.
Having a backup key entry, that was a long discussion that, we went back and forth on, and we finally decided, no, we don't want a key that, we've taken all these steps to make sure that it's extra safe, but if they just find the key, then they can get in. It seemed a little unsecure to us.
Yeah.
So, we didn't put that backup entryway in there. We're end users, and you can tell that that's when you get quality products, is when the end users are the ones developing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I cannot let you go without hitting you with our new guy. And sometimes a girl. Questions. So how did you, or what is your earliest recollection of being exposed to firearms?
It was, I grew up in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
And yep, I grew up in Alaska, and it was, really just going out in the woods and setting up some targets, and really not the highest level of like firearm safety and security, I mean, the good old days, and, shooting with family. And then when it came to, the teenage years, then it was, we would go out and do that with friends, just kind of a bonfire and shoot some targets and mud the vehicles around. And, like I mentioned earlier, it was, I didn't look at it as a career. To me, it was just something that was fun. I went to school to major in sociology. I didn't think that I was going to be a brand manager in the firearms industry.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is the first firearm that you could call your own, that was yours?
It was a Smith & Wesson Shield. Was my first firearm purchase.
Okay. The handgun. What was a handgun? Protection.
It was a handgun. And, I bought it specifically. I'm a very pragmatic person. And I was like, well, if I'm going to have a handgun, I'm going to get one that I can carry with me. I knew immediately that I wanted a concealed carry firearm, and I knew that I wanted a semi-automatic, and I happened to get a really good discount on Smith & Wesson there for a while.
Nice.
So I purchased that, and I think my favorite story tied to it is shortly after I purchased it, I had the opportunity to go and attend a Gunsight 250 defensive handgun course.
Very nice.
And they said, what are you going to shoot it with? Because you're going to go through 1,000 rounds over the course of 5 days. And I said, well, I'm going to shoot my Shield. And I said, you don't want to shoot your shield. That's a small gun to be putting that many rounds down. It's going to be kind of exhausting. And
that's surprising that they would say that, because you're supposed to train with what you carry.
Well, and that's what the instructors. It was not the instructors who told me that I shouldn't do it.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, people talking about going into it, and that's what I told them. I said, well, this is what I'm going to carry, so this is what I want to be most proficient with. And
smart.
I go to the class, and not only was I the only female in the class, but I had the smallest handgun, and I was the second best shooter in the class at the end of it.
There you go. Take that.
Yeah, so it was. I still have that shield. I'll never get rid of it.
Well, good for you. You still carrying it? Or have you upgraded since then?
I've kind of got issue with buying single stack 9s.
So you turned into a collector, a hoarder?
I have. There's only so many of them out there, but I do have the majority of them. So it is one of my regularly carried firearms.
Nice. So when it comes to, and we already know your background a little bit. You don't have military or law enforcement background, right?
No.
Okay. Anybody in your family?
My husband's a veteran.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm very into supporting, veteran companies. This year, really I've been trying to find opportunities for lockdown to support veterans and to also support women in the industry in, a really positive manner. I work with Becky Yackley. I work with Gun Girl Jen, Monica from Pino and Pistols, any of these, positive influencer, women who are supporting training and concealed carry. And I'm really trying to get them on our roster for lockdown, because it's what I believe in.
Very good. Well, I can introduce you to some other people. That would be great for that. I love
that.
Absolutely. When it comes to pop culture, what is your go-to, whether it be a movie, music, TV show, maybe a book, maybe gaming, that you just go to for escapism?
Oh, it's such an odd question for me right now, because I've got a 2.5-month-old home, so I'm not getting to do anything right now. my main goal
kids.
Yeah, I would say that I do, when I can, I like to put podcasts on in the background while I'm working.
Okay.
It used to be that I would listen to podcasts on my way home from work when I had an hour-long commute as my wind down time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoy podcasts. I would say that when I do turn on the TV, I have a habit of, rewatching the same 50 movies over and over again.
What's your go-to movie?
I'm branching out by watching Goldeneye.
You're getting into the Bond series, and you're going to be glad you did. Trust me.
I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, I'm not good on staying up on current events, and I love reading books. I don't have time for it. So
what is your podcast? What's your go-to podcast that you like to listen to?
I hate to say
Talking Lead. Don't say Talking Lead. It's okay.
It's sometimes it's Talking Lead. Sometimes it is Talking Lead. Sometimes it's Gun Talk media. I do listen to a lot of the firearm based shows. I do. Yeah.
I'm the opposite, because I talk about it all the time. When I'm listening to something else, I want to hear something else. I don't want to hear about firearms. So I'll listen to, some comedians or something like that. Occasionally I'll listen to Joe Rogan when he's got a real good conspiracy theorist guest on or something like that. I'm really into that kind of stuff.
So now that I've established myself as a responsible adult that listens to responsible podcasts, I would say that the majority of the time I listen to, it's called Sword and Scale. Uh-huh. And it talks about, I think the theme of the show is, the worst monsters in life are real. And it talks about true cases of people that have had acts of violence against them.
Oh, wow.
And, it goes into, different murderers and breaking and entering. Anything. They really just go through and comb through.
They go through actual
court cases,
actual events.
Yeah.
Okay. And Sword and Scale. I'll have to check that one out.
Sword and Scale. It is there's honestly sometimes that it is so disgusting what some human beings will do to other human beings.
Oh yeah.
And that I've just had to turn it off and just like sit in silence for a little bit. Like, did I really just hear that? Like, did that really happen to somebody? And
yeah,
I like that, I listen to it and it terrifies me, and it especially terrifies me more that I have kids now, that there's people like that in the world. But
it's like
it
that
reminds me that you
Unsolved
have to be
Mysteries
ever vigilant.
TV show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You ever watch that?
Yeah, so Sword and Scale.
Yeah, Sword. I'm gonna check that out. I like that. And now you're getting into James Bond, which is good for you. That's going to be your new favorite. Digging that.
Yeah. What I'm really excited to get back into is shooting guns. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, alcohol and shooting guns independently.
Yeah, one another. Yeah. Getting them.
Yeah.
So what's your go-to adult beverage drink?
It's got to depend on the time of the year, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to be a bartender. So
exactly, that's right. Yeah, so you know your stuff. You know stuff.
There is it all depends on where I'm at. When I'm in Vegas, I really like to drink Vieux Carrés. It's a bourbon based southern drink that is delicious, but it has to be made right.
What's in it?
It is bourbon and really kind of all the mainstream stuff. I believe it's been so long. It's very similar to an old fashioned. Okay. But it's a Vieux Carré.
I love old fashions.
Yeah, you would love a Vieux Carré. Some whiskey, some cognac, vermouth, Benedictine liqueur, bitters, and some cherry.
Okay. So that's got a little, like you said, it's got a little bit of everything in there.
It's got a little bit of everything there. So I love those, especially when I'm down in Vegas. I'll be definitely drinking those at SHOT Show.
All right.
In the summer, I can't say no to a good margarita, especially if it's a spicy one.
Real salty margarita. Okay.
Yeah, spicy jalapeno on the rocks with salt on the rim.
I've never had one of those.
If I'm gonna take a shot of something, I really like Fist Fights. It's Pendleton and pickle juice mixed together.
Oh, I saw somebody doing that the other night. They were like doing pickle juice shots. I was like,
yeah, those are like their vodka. I mean, can we talk about being a basic? I'm not.
Being a lightweight?
Yeah. I mean, no, Pendleton and pickle juice, it's got to have the right kind of pickle juice, and it's got to be shaken just right and strained, and they are just to die for. But yeah, I heard that like pickle shots are a thing now. You like just mix any old pickle juice with vodka and drink it.
I don't know. They were at the bar there were some people at a bar that we were at doing it. I was like, yeah, no thanks. I'll pass on that.
Yeah, no. But when we meet, we'll get some fist fights.
Okay.
I'm a violent person by nature.
We will get into a fist fight. I love that. Mm-hmm. When it comes to, so we talked about firearms. You're ready for your next firearm. What is your next firearm that you're looking at buying?
Walther PPK.
Really?
Or maybe
is that because of James Bond?
No, but it was so funny because I've been talking about this for months now that, I really, so there's two things. My next handgun, I really do want a Walther. It's kind of always been one of my bucket list guns that I don't know why I haven't bought yet. Me and that gun just fit together. It's insane. So that's handgun. I'm actually gearing up to do my first rifle build.
Ooh, AR?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to build me an AR, just, starting with a 223. But, I work closely with Wheeler and Tipton, and they've been doing a lot of gun builds lately. Yeah. We're working at doing like a lockdown Wheeler co-branded gun build. So I'm really excited to put together my first rifle from scratch.
I would love to have some input in that.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I love building my own ARs and whatever.
I will take it. I'm really pumped about the whole thing.
I can give you some tips.
Good.
I've built.
We'll have to have you on it.
I've built several. So, bucket list. What is your bucket list thing that you want to do next in life? What's your next check off bucket list item?
Oh, dang. I don't think I've realigned to that ever since I had children.
Probably scaled down that a little bit, didn't you? Now that you got children,
I mean,
not going to jump out of an airplane.
Right? Honestly, I really want to learn how to use my body as a weapon.
Okay. So you want to learn the jiu-jitsu, kung fu, MMA kind of stuff?
I was hoping to do it, shortly after.
You're not talking about putting on a vest with explosives.
No, yeah, no, I'm a gunfighter and I feel confident in my abilities to use a firearm in a defensive situation. But I was talking to my family and, I told them that for especially being a female, what we have to consider is the fact that, most of the time you don't see your attacker coming. They come up from behind you, they grab you. And even when you're concealed carrying, you have to get a safe distance between you and that attacker to be able to draw your firearm and use it. And especially, your attacker very likely could be stronger than you are. And the last thing you want is him to be able to take your firearm from you. So going back to that training, I have my firearms training. Now I need to give my body the training it needs to get me that distance, to make sure that my attacker can't take my firearm away, to, looking at it from all sides.
I love that. That's a great answer. That's awesome. So what, is there like a special form of training that you're looking to do hand to hand?
I enjoy kickboxing.
Okay.
So, I've been looking at, there is a kickboxing class here in Columbia that does kickboxing with a mix of MMA. So I've been looking into that. I mean, right now it's just finding the time to devote to a couple hours a week.
Yeah.
But as soon as I can find it, that's my goal.
You'll find it. It'll come. So laws be damned, money be damned. What would you own? Sky's the limit.
I want so badly to buy I want to have my own compound.
Okay.
I want my own large piece of property that I can move my friends and my family onto, that we could have like a communal gun range, a communal quadding area, a communal pool.
So Ruby Ridge.
Where I do. I want to build my own small cult. Is really what
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Oh yeah.
No, that is kind of, in a roundabout, people answer that the same way. They want a large piece of property that they can seclude themselves and others, have a gun range on it, have just privacy kind of deal. So, yeah, that's awesome. So an island, you just buy your own island and just fortify it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I like that. All right, last question. If you could spend the day at the range with anyone or any group of people, living, dead, fictional, who would it be?
Oh, dang. I wasn't prepared for that one.
Yeah. Bam.
I mean, can I say Gunny?
You can say anybody you want. Yeah.
Just because
typically the first thing that comes typically the first thing comes to mind is right.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Gunny, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to really put some thought into that one.
It's not supposed to. You're supposed to answer it just like that.
I told you I'm a pragmatic person.
Who was the first person that came to your mind besides Gunny? There was somebody else you were sitting there thinking. You're like, I saw you nodding. So who was it? I
don't know. If I could spend my time with anybody alive or dead.
Or fictional.
Or fictional.
Yeah. See, you didn't hear that part.
Oh, dang.
I'm
not thinking about that.
James Bond.
I'm not thinking. Yeah. I mean, if I could hang out with Pierce Brosnan, GoldenEye version, I'm not hating on that.
So
He's a handsome man.
Apparently, because you went to Pierce Brosnan, like the first James Bond to watch. So what else of his do you like that he's been in? Thomas Crown Affair?
I think the only thing that I've really watched lately is that new one that came out where he it has that one funny guy who acts in all those movies like Wedding Crashers, and him and the wife and the kids go.
Owen Wilson?
Yeah.
Or is it the other guy?
No, he's a Wilson.
Okay.
But him and his wife and their daughter, they go over to a foreign country, and then that foreign country actually ends up like in the middle of an uprising, and they have to escape. Have you not seen that?
I think I have. It's been out a while though.
Yeah. And Pierce Brosnan, like that was like I think the last thing. that I really saw with him in it. It was just when I was looking through him, because, sometimes...
Well, you're too young for Remington Steele. Do you remember Remington Steele? Have you ever heard of Remington Steele? Mm-hmm. So he was in this TV series. He was like a private investigator or something called Remington Steele. That was Pierce Brosnan was in that. You should go check those out. You'll probably dig those.
Yeah. I just... When I was looking back towards them, I was worried about going too far back and then like maybe it being like a little too
on the Bond?
Rustic.
No.
Yeah, on the Bonds.
No,
yeah.
No,
I was worried. So I was like, well, I recognize this actor. I feel like this is a good
because what's great
place.
about it was, I mean, you look at the time that these movies were made and they were filmed, and of course, he's famous for his gadgets and, car accessories and things like that. It's cool how they did it back in those days. And then as you work your way up to the modern day, how they're doing stuff now with Daniel Craig. So Daniel Craig is my second favorite Bond.
Oh, I'll take note of that.
Yeah. Pierce was until Daniel Craig came. And then, but, I mean, not Roger Moore. Roger Moore, he was too campy for me. He was too, like, 1960s Batman, Adam West to me.
The Batmans. That's another one I want to run through again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Good old Riddler.
The Riddler. Well, very good. So we've gotten to know you a little bit better. Thank you for taking part in our new guy, and sometimes a girl questions. I know our listeners, they can connect with you on a different level now. So, perfect.
I'm here. I'm having fun doing things.
All right. So let's do this. Let's go to our listener questions, because we got some giveaways that we want to do. And we're going to go through the questions that our listeners have posted, and we're going to pick 2 to win some awesome prizes from Lockdown. You want to tell them what they could possibly win, Renelle?
Yeah, we're going to give you one of those, as we talked about, one of these in plain sight shelves. They're fantastic. They mount to the wall. They come in a white or a brown. You guys can go ahead and message which one you like once we select the winners. It mounts easily to the wall. It's got a proprietary peg system on the inside, so you can, choose, full size, compact handguns, extra magazines, any other valuables that you want to have in there. It is really inconspicuous. I've got these in a couple of places in my home, and people really don't realize what's in them. But of course, we want to make sure it's extra secure. So we're going to send you an in plain sight, or we're going to send you a puck also. We developed our in plain sight furniture that it actually has a built-in spot for the puck. So it's really easy to just snap that bad boy in there. And then, you have that level of safety and security with that product.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So so you're giving away a shelf and a puck?
Yep.
To one person.
Combo pack.
To one person.
We can choose 2 if you'd like. Let's do 2.
Well, I advertised 2 because I thought we were giving a shelf to somebody and a puck to somebody. So
I love giving away stuff. Let's give away a combo pack to both.
Okay, very good. So here we go. Let's hit our listener questions on Instagram. I'm going to go to the grams, and you can pull these up too, Renelle. We're going to go to Facebook, and we're going to go to Instagram. And let's just kind of field some of the questions. A lot of them are redundant, so we'll probably answer several people's questions with one. I'm going to go to the post. Did you guys repost it on any of your stuff? We can go there and get questions too if you want to.
I should say, I sent it to our social team, and I believe they got it. Yeah, I think you commented on it. They got it posted on our stories.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they can't post questions on stories. All right, so here we go. We're going to go to Instagram first, and we've got several comments here. Giddy Up says, I just got to ask, why so awesome? ? Fire. Because we like to take care of our listeners. That's why.
Yeah, everybody's been joking that since I took lockdown over, it's really, I've kind of pushed myself into the brand. I have a lot of fun. Just earlier this year, we gave away over $500,000 in prizes. We gave away a Toyota 4Runner, a dirt bike, a PlayStation 4,
oh my gosh.
The new PlayStation, the new Xbox. I mean, when you couldn't get them, we had to buy them off eBay.
Well, wait, look back. You gave away a 4Runner?
We gave away a 4Runner earlier this year. Yeah.
4Runner? How did I not know about that?
The funnest brand. It went from nobody knowing who it was to I'm determined. I mean, we are going to be a household name just because I love this industry. I love taking care of it, and I love my brand. And
awesome.
We're going to constantly do good things.
I want a lockdown Forerunner. I'll just go on record as saying that.
I'm going to have to send you the photos of it. It was beautiful. It was full custom.
Well, don't rub it in now. I don't. Has your company considered a hidden in plain sight solution for securing a firearm in a vehicle? Also, would your security system be a good solution for a church commercial setup? Can the customer actively monitor the cameras without the system being armed? Looking forward to another education field episode. So we don't do cameras.
There is no video. Yeah, there is no video asset.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I will caveat all of that, right? Everything's a not yet, because now that we're in this world, we're going to start cranking them out. You know, the plug's coming in January, the vault's coming in April. There's some other real cool stuff that I can't even tell you about yet that's coming down the pipeline, but it is worth a follow on social media.
Come on, tell us. I said, we are the show for exclusives. You can tell us.
I will say
hit around toward the end. Hit around toward the end of the show. We'll do that. We'll hint around at the end, maybe.
All right.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
I can do it right now.
Yeah, you want to do it right now? Okay,
I can do it right now.
Give us a big hint.
So with the development of the vault doors, it is only logical that we would continue to develop products to really build out a killer vault room.
Okay. I like that. Vault room.
Vault room.
Okay, so you didn't say you're going to build your own vaults, but a vault room. I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of, we are the firearm accessory company, and we're going to continue to find ways to take care of you and take care of your firearms. So as we build into vault rooms, there's a lot more products that can go.
Absolutely. So kind of Mustang kind of maybe alluded to one there with the video, but to his question, have you considered a hidden in plain sight solution for securing a firearm in a vehicle? And would your security systems be a good solution for a church commercial setup?
Vehicle storage, absolutely. That is something that we talk about often. It's on my list. It's on Lockdown's list to, really be that from every aspect of your life. From the bedside table, on the go, wherever you're at, including churches. So yes, all of our products would be great for our commercial setting.
Yeah.
While they all work from one singular app, you can not only set up different ways to notify yourself, but also other people. So one singular person would have the main access to the account to be able to change the settings, but you can set it up to where, yourself and 4 other people will get a notification if a door is open that shouldn't be, if there's tampering that shouldn't be. We really wanted to make sure we were taking that commercial setting in mind, even though at this point the puck was developed for home use.
You got to tell me when I'm sharing my screen. I got to stop sharing there. To get you on there.
Oh, you've got glasses now.
I can't read. I have to
Clark Kent over here.
If you listen to the last episode, I was I claimed somebody was a singer when they were a signer. I got hell over that. So J. Edgar Paradox, can't wait to hear about this company. First thing that comes to mind, this would be perfect to join up with Walk the Talk America. Any talks of collaborating discussions with them on mental illness and your products? Are you familiar with Walk the Talk America?
I wasn't until I saw that post, and I want to tell listener one. I mean, I have to select them as a winner. I get to select one. You get to select one.
There you go.
Because I had not heard of them, and I researched them, and I have reached out to support them.
Another company that has great color scheme.
And absolutely, yeah. I was in love with their website.
Yeah, so, our friend Mike Sodini
is absolutely in support of all of those different foundation, different not-for-profits. We really want to give back to the firearms community and support. We do a lot of support of 3-gun matches with our influencers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing up that company. I had never heard of them before, but I will be supporting them in some way moving forward.
So Walk the Talk America is friends of ours. Mike Sodini is the founder of Walk the Talk America. He used to be the the president of Eagle Imports, and he left that completely and jumped in 100% with Walk the Talk America, which it's an organization that's bridging the gap between the firearms industry and the mental health industry. And we've had him on several times, and there's been talks of working with safe companies on devices that when somebody is in mental distress can keep them away from the firearms, kind of, of their own choosing. So I will make the introductions, and we'll make that happen.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And, that scenario right there, he could own a puck. And if that's something that he can recognize in himself, and he can set up, for if he opens that vault door, it would automatically notify anybody that he had set up to where they could immediately call him, even if it's just say, hey, are you just,
absolutely
going in there for everyday things. So, it's a perfect segue.
Yeah. Very good. Let's see. It's Patrick Metal Detecting at Talking Lead. Here's a great question. I'll be the judge of that. With me being a potential customer, explain how this is a better product than other companies. So first, you need to do your research on the other companies, because we don't talk bad about other companies on this podcast. Renelle did an excellent job explaining what their product does and how you can use it in potential ways. So I think we've answered that, unless you want to go any further.
All I can say is there's nothing like the puck out there. The puck is the first of its kind. So that just takes it right there. Other companies aren't doing anything wrong. They just didn't do what we have done with this product.
Yeah. And along with all the other products that you have. So the variety, the innovation, and then what's to come would be my answer to Patrick, and why you should consider Lockdown. Let's see. Nate Cox BJJ, if you can only afford one plain sight shelf, what room is best to put it in? I think that's user dependent. Everybody's house is different. Everybody's setup is different.
My rule for my house is that I need to have I have a split level home. I have to have a firearm on every floor. So the in plain sight shelf has really helped me with that, because I don't want to have a full vault in every room.
Yeah.
But I can have a nice decorative shelf that just hides a accessible firearm.
There you go. And having children or whatnot, you can't be like me, the bachelor, and just have them in every corner. As you see my background. Let's see. Frejole Breeze, what are some of the most overlooked security misses? Even those with safes hidden away from common areas, nested Wi-Fi routers, properly enforced deadbolts, and such will leave some gap in security. What do even the most security-conscious minded tend to miss?
I'm going to answer this as myself and not the brand manager for Lockdown.
Okay.
It's your own training. People will buy every gadget under the sun to keep themselves protected, but if you don't train with it, if you don't understand how to use those to support your own capabilities, then
absolutely
they're not as effective.
Yeah. Just like you train with your firearm, and you got to train with your security devices as well. You got to know how to use them, how they work. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Everything has limitations, right? You put a laser sight or you put a red dot on your gun. Those aren't made to replace your iron sights. Those are supposed to be an additional asset, or if you're in a gunfight. That's the same with security products. They are there to be used as an asset to help you have every advantage to get that upper hand. But you have to be ready to use them. You have to train with them. When I was in some of my firearms trainings, one gentleman told me, when you are in a high stress situation, you will revert to your lowest level of training.
Yep.
And that has stuck with me. my entire career now is, you revert to your lowest level of training. You can think that, okay, well, I've got a fire or I've got a gun safe next to my bed. So if somebody comes in, I'm going to reach over and I'm going to grab my gun. Well, have you practiced reaching for it in the dark without your glasses on? Have you practiced putting in your code when, you're in that scenario? Have you, done any of these things? Because if you think that your body's going to naturally roll gracefully like 007, which I just started watching GoldenEye for the first time yesterday.
You've never watched GoldenEye?
I've never seen any 007.
You've never seen James Bond at all?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, you've corrected that so we can still be friends.
Yeah, right. I'm working on it. So I feel like I had to start with Pierce. So I started with GoldenEye.
No, you should have started with the original and worked your way up.
Yeah. But you're not going to be out there James Bond in it. You're going to be fumbling around in the dark, and so that's what people miss.
Training
is, they invest in these security products, they rely on them, and they're fantastic, but at the end of the day, you have to be confident in yourself.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a great answer. I like that. So you pick the next question.
There was one that I really liked.
Okay. Facebook or Instagram?
Jacob Rozecki.
Okay.
My question would be, with so many new gun owners buying for family protection, what in-home device would they recommend when children are present?
Nice.
Again, I'm going to start with, it all starts with teaching your children firearm safety, number one. If you're going to have firearms in the house, I've got young children, so I understand that there are some limitations with a 3-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. But, number one is teaching your child, what to do when they see a firearm. Step 2 is making sure that firearm is always in a safe setting. So, I prefer, and that's up to you as a parent to decide. I choose to keep my firearms not chambered, but I know that they're not chambered, and that is my standard for all my firearms. So I know that if I'm in a self-defense situation, I immediately need to chamber my firearm.
Yeah.
So
because you train that way. Yeah.
Because I train that way. So I keep my firearms not chambered. A lot of the times I will keep the magazine separate from the firearm as well. And then I do keep them in locked settings. So the in plain sight shelf. So that way I have quick access. I have convenient access no matter what floor of the house I'm on. But they are still locked away. And then I do a lot of the training. Like I mentioned, I want my children to know that if there is a serious situation, I need them to go into this room, what's going to happen. And then I have practiced getting that magnet onto the door open to drop down that firearm. Religiously. I can do it with my eyes closed now. I can put in the code to my handgun vault with my eyes closed in the dark. And that's how I've chosen to protect my family.
Mm-hmm. You take it serious.
I take it very seriously.
That's the way it should be taken. Mm-hmm. So that's a good question, and I think that answers a lot of some of these other questions as well. Aura Alpin out, what is the number one most critical part of firearm home security? And I think that goes back, like you said, to education and training, firearms education and training, and then learning your system that you choose.
Mm-hmm. And once you start running through that, when you really start thinking about, if somebody broke into my house, what am I going to do? That's going to help you identify what products you need. If I'm sitting in my living room and somebody, comes breaking in, where can I get a gun at? How fast can I reach a firearm? That will tell you, do you need a firearm in that room? How fast do you want to access it? One of my favorite shows to watch is First Person Defender by Gun Talk Radio or Gun Talk Advertising. Uh-huh. If you have not watched those, they're fantastic. So, that was one of the first things that I saw when I came into this industry was watching those for my company. And it's amazing to see really how you react in real life settings.
What is it called? Gun Talk TV?
It's by Gun Talk. But it's First Person Defender, and they're all on YouTube. If you go in there, First Person Defender, they're fantastic. It's a fantastic series.
Guntalk.com, First Person Defender, Gun Talk Media. Okay, I'll have to check those out. Very nice. All right, next question. Let's move on here. We got several more. I don't know. This is Ryan Abbott. I've been very curious about the hidden in plain sight concealment furniture in the 2A community. After doing a lot of research, it seems that most of what's on the market are accessible with a magnet kept nearby. With children of all ages in the house, is this the most secure furniture offered in this market when pertaining to hidden in plain sight concealment pieces, or is there other options? For example, things like fingerprint access, manual switch combos, hidden keypads, etc. Obviously, the magnets are quick, but couldn't manual switch combos be just as fast with training? Which anything could be just as fast with proper training. Mm-hmm. I've also been curious about quick access mounts that are specialized for vehicles, especially pertaining to PCCs. With recent events that broke out across the country last year, I've seen so many people opting in for PCCs in their vehicles. Are you currently offering or thinking about offering an option for quick access in vehicles? The answer to that is yes. We've answered that. I've been looking into these options for a while now, so I can't wait to hear the show. Cool.
So rolling that back to the beginning,
yes.
I think he started with, how can in plain sight furniture be that secure?
Yeah.
That's a valid question, and it's why we designed our in plain sight furniture to be puck compatible right out of the box. With that quick access, you're right. It is made of wood. It does take. It's not as secure as a all metal vault.
Safe, yeah, absolutely.
But it's that convenience factor.
Yeah.
So if you put the puck in there, then you'll get that tamper because the kids aren't going to be able to get that magnet on their first try and, drop that gun. And even if they do, the puck will send you that notification that the door's open, that one, somebody's moving the magnet around on it. And then two, if that door opens.
Yeah.
So, that response time.
Yep. Very good. And let's see. I think that answered most of his question. So is there anything coming from you guys with the fingerprint or retinal?
The biometric scanning?
Yeah.
I could never get my iPhone to open up with my fingerprint. So I don't know. I've
had
never
laptops before too that
yeah.
I could use any finger and it worked after it, and
really?
Somebody else could use their and they've probably come a long way since then, but
I don't know. I mean, I want to think it has, but same thing. My computer had, the finger one, and I'm not a fan of it. I haven't found it to be reliable. I don't feel like it's very secure. I don't trust it. So I'm not saying that we won't do it, but like I said, we develop products here that we really believe in and that we want to use, and I don't want to use that.
Yeah, until you put the research into it and learn more about it. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take one more. And let's see, we've got several. I think a lot of people, and I think we've kind of addressed this a little bit, but there's been several questions about, what if I lose the Wi-Fi connectivity? What if I lose power? What if, the smart home goes down? Then what?
You'll get a notification on your phone. Yeah. That's really step one. If any of that stuff goes down, then you're going to get a notification. Even if it goes down, your products, none of our products would put your valuables at risk. So, for example, if somebody did cut the power and your puck lost power in your vault, again, it's not giving them access to your vault. For the vault door, if somebody cuts the power to the vault door or cuts your Wi-Fi, the door is it's not opening. So, it's not like if one of those things happens, it's just going to, just swing open for them. It's going to stay locked down until, you go there and restore power. The door doesn't even need Wi-Fi. to function as a door. So, it doesn't rely on that in any way, shape, or form. We know that with any electronic, it's not really an if, it's a when. Something's going to, Wi-Fi is going to circulate, power is going to circulate, it's going to happen.
My power went off today for no reason. Yeah. For like 3 minutes. I mean, it's a clear, perfect day, no storms. And the power just went off in my house.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's not an if, it's a when it's going to happen. So we engineered our products to make sure that even when that happened, you're still safe.
Yeah. All right. Last question. And this is my winner. This is Corey Brown with a bunch of other things after his Instagram name here. When helping my in-laws on the farm, I've noticed there isn't much out there to secure your rifle in the tractor. Can lockdown secured address this problem? All of us in the flyover states would be appreciative to have more options in the market. Them pesky coyotes aren't going to shoot themselves, LOL.
So is he talking about just being able to find something to hang the firearm on the tractor, like secure it to the tractor, or keep it like safely secured?
I think both. I think he's probably.
I can answer both.
All right, I knew you could. So let's address both.
Well, and you know the answer to both. So
yes,
I mean, okay, when it comes to securing it to make sure it's safe, we've got the trigger locks, we've got the gun locks, all that good stuff. I don't think that's really what he cares about. When it comes to securing it to the tractor, let's talk. We got to go back to those magnets that you brought up at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
So these two very powerful magnets. One's meant for handguns. One is meant for the Magnum, is the long gun. Uh-huh. And 2 screws, if you can find a spot to screw it into the tractor, those things will hold like a fully loaded shotgun horizontally. And those, they are powerful, powerful magnets. With some firearms, we have used, 2 to brace it at the end and the forend, but
to balance it.
Yeah, they are great. They are perfect for that, securing, just like you said, under the desk, on a tractor. We put them throughout that custom Forerunner that we did, so that you could just be hanging guns in the most nonsensical places, but that's the fun part, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that Magnum magnet is what I would recommend for securing that to the tractor. And I am so glad you picked that as a winner.
So, I think also what he's talking about is leaving it in the tractor. And then having the security there if somebody were to break in possibly. I recommend not leaving it in your tractor for one. Don't do that, because no matter what kind of security you got in there, somebody can break that window very easily and steal your stuff. So just in case that's what you were talking about, I'm addressing that there. So don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. And it's just, it can't be good, right? That temperature and humidity, I don't care where you are, it can't be great.
No.
For leaving it in there all the time.
Yeah, but if you're going to be in there and you're looking for a place to, a device to actually hang it and put it up and secure it while you're driving around using the tractor or out working on the farm, what Renell just told you is perfect. And you can take down them pesky coyotes. We had an answer here from Sack Archer. He actually answered it. It says, AK is always slung across my back on the 4-wheeler, and a makeshift scabbard out of old soft case for the tractor works pretty well too. We used to have a hog problem. Used to have a hog problem.
Used to have. Yeah. Homemade scabbard took care of that.
But you can still have it in the scabbard with those magnets and hang it up.
Yeah. So I've got one last fun thing.
Oh, okay.
That we're doing right now.
All right. I like fun.
Yeah, I like fun too. So when I was looking at, the different consumers, right? Different types of people who use firearms. Lots of people use our products, but there's so many different kinds of shooters, right? You've got I kind of like Harry Potter sorter hats, right? So
like what? What did you just say?
Like Harry Potter sorting hats, right? You got the different houses. So there's different types of shooters, right? So
okay.
There is the protector, right? And this is your everyday carry person. When they have their firearm, they realize, and this is mainly the group that I fall into. I'm a little bit trainer too, and we'll get into that. But, their firearm, they look as a life-saving device. It's on them all the time. They have it, throughout the house. They know that firearm is going to save their life someday. So they got the protector. You've got the trainer, right? These are the tactical guys. These are the range guys. They've got plate carriers. They've got night vision goggles. I mean, when they think about using their guns, it's like zombie apocalypse. They're going. I mean, it's to the nines. There's the collectors, probably the trainers who've gotten a little older. They like the fancy guns. They're the trainer doesn't want you to know how many guns you have. You go over to the collector's house and everybody knows one of these guys. Like, you want to see how many guns I have? Yeah. You want to see this new gun I got the other day? Did you see that, brand new product that came out from this company? I mean, they are on it with like the best, the coolest, the most brightly
keeping up
colored,
with the Joneses. Yeah.
And then there's the explorers, and the explorers are, that's the hunters. They look at their firearms as, a source of food survival, and or the people who go camping and really just kind of bring a firearm to protect them from larger beasts. So you've got these four categories, right? And I think everybody has a little bit of each one in them, but there's usually one that is really predominant. For me, I'm almost all protector. Trainers just a little bit under protector because I do just love fun gun stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you go to lockdown.com right now, go on the banner, you can actually take this little 10-question survey, and it'll give you a little chart that tells you, what kind of firearms owner you are. And, it's a little corny. Like I said, I compare it to the Harry Potter sorting hats just because it is a little bit of, that genre, but it's neat. It's fun. I had a lot of fun developing it. And
well, let me take it. Let me do it right now.
Yeah.
We'll do this for the and you guys can go here. It's lockdown.com. Where do I go?
Go to the homepage, and there's going to be a little banner for it.
Homepage. Okay.
So first thing that's going to pop up is the pilot, like I mentioned, that's going on for the plug right now. So if you can get it to scroll to the right, a little arrow over there. There you go. Take the quiz.
Take quiz. Which firearm owner are you? Persona quiz. All right. You read the questions, and then I'll answer them.
Okay, and some of these, I'm not gonna lie, some of them make you a little bit uncomfortable to answer.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw it out there right now. We don't ask for any of your information. There isn't any way that any of these answers can be linked back to you. So just like those old, in the magazine when you would circle the answers, don't worry about any of your safety being compromised.
You just go through an answer and it tells you what you are, I guess. All right, let's do it.
Yep. All right. Where do you predominantly store your firearms? In the handgun vault, standing vault, the original box, or on display.
And I only can do one?
Yep.
Okay.
It forces you to kind of commit to an answer.
Probably more along that lines. On display. I can
tell by your background.
/ vault room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you travel most often with your firearms? Everywhere, to the range, or to go hunting or outdoors?
Everywhere.
All right. How often do you train? You shoot or dry fire daily? You go once a month? You go every other month? Or you're kind of a 3 more times a year person?
I do something daily.
That's that a boy.
Yeah.
All right. Which type of firearm is your favorite? And again, you have to pick one. I know it's not easy, but you got semi-auto, revolver, shotgun, a hunting rifle, or an MSR.
Which is your favorite?
Mm-hmm. It's hard.
Oh my gosh! Well, definitely not a shotgun. Shotguns aren't my favorite. I like them, but when you say MSR, what is MSR?
Modern sporting rifle.
Oh, modern sporting rifle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not really modern, but I like AKs. Would you
I throw that under MSR.
MSR.
Yeah.
AKs have over the past 3 years become my favorite. So yes.
They're making a come up.
Yeah, it's because of the Talking Lead AK Corner. Tune in each month, the 15th of every month, to listen to the Talking Lead AK Corner.
I love it.
This month's AK Corner, we're going to be talking competition shooting, AK specific competition shootings. We're going to have competitors on. We're going to have some of the event organizers on. So.
I love it. Very nice.
All right, next question.
Okay. how many of your firearms are something other than black?
So
None,
my
some, or
listeners
most.
know that I've got to do something to my firearms. I've got to add some sort of color or something. I love to hydro dip.
Oh, do you? You do your own hydro dipping?
I do.
Oh, I've got something to talk to you about offline.
Do you see the giraffe ones back there? I don't know. I've got some that are
I didn't.
giraffe. So most.
All right.
Most.
How many of your firearms have aftermarket accessories? Some, most, or all? All of them?
Oh.
What is the main reason that you own a firearm? Protection, hunting, or because shooting is just fun?
Because I can needs to be in there.
Well, and I mean, that for me fell into like the shooting is fun category, right? I mean, it's, I own them because I just love shooting.
I know. So that's a tough, because I can't say I just own them for protection. It's not the main reason. The main reason is not hunting. The main reason isn't shooting is fun. The main reason is all those. All the above needs to be in there.
I know.
I'll say protection.
I know. It's hard to choose sometimes.
I'll say protection.
You're going to kind of be an anomaly. You've got answers all over the board here.
I told you, I break things.
All right. And there's a reason I put this question last, but there was no way to get a good answer if I didn't ask it.
Okay.
How many firearms do you own? 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 20, or 21 plus.
I think everybody knows the answer to this one. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Click agree, and it'll spit you out a little chart.
Okay. I agree. Submit. Okay. I've got a picture. Here we go. So,
all right. So you are predominantly a collector.
A collector?
Mm-hmm. You see the beauty in the beast. You honor your firearms by showcasing them, the coveted, the costly, the unique. Technology adds to the functionality and the showmanship on and off your firearms. One is never enough, and one more is always the answer.
I can agree with that. I cannot disagree with that assessment. So,
and this is what's neat, right? Because originally when I was building this survey, because, I built it with the help of, my boss and my coworkers, but, this is just, me having fun. See, you're predominantly collector, but if you look, you're also very heavy on the trainer side.
Yeah.
Going to the range, doing all that stuff, and you've even got a little bit of the explorer and a little bit of the protector. One person isn't solely one type of firearms owner. And I think that's something that's really impactful to recognize, that, everybody owns firearms for different purposes, for different reasons. And, but it's a unifying factor between all these different types of people. We all believe that firearms are a source of something in our lives. And for all those people, you guys need vault accessories, and that's what I'm here for.
There you go. Exactly. And you can go to lockdown.com and see all the products that they offer, all the accessories for your safe, for your home organization, your gun safety. It's all
and
there.
And actually scroll back up to that photo.
Yeah. Is this your house?
So I wish it was my house. This was a really beautiful house we used for some photography, but you see all those guns on the wall?
Yeah.
Those are being held up by those Magnum magnets.
Oh, okay. Now let me ask you this. How difficult is it to get them to release from the magnets?
Oh, it's not.
Okay. All right. I need to try those. You need to send me a couple, because you saw the magnets I had.
Yeah, those are a little overkill.
I've got those rare earth magnets that you could hold up your next Forerunner that you're going to give away with the new lockdown organization system for it. So.
That was a lot of fun.
Well, this has been fun, Ronell. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on. Again, let's announce our winners, because I don't know if we made it perfectly clear who won. Who did you pick?
I chose. They were on Facebook.
I thought he was on Instagram.
Jay Allen.
Jay Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So that's J. Edgar Paradox. He put it on both. So, J. Edgar Paradox, you have won In Plain Sight shelf and a puck.
Mm-hmm.
Send me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com. Let me know that you are the winner. We'll need your address, contact info. I'll forward that on to Ronell, and then she'll get that out to you.
And also let him know if you want the white or the brown version. It's a dark brown, almost black, but there's a white and there's a brown version of that shelf. So
there you
can
go.
Choose which one you'd like.
Yeah, go to their website, pick which one you want. And I picked the tractor guy, Corey Brown, MKTM4FN. So whatever that means, you are the second winner. Same thing. Go to the website, pick which color you want on the shelf, and then you're also going to get one of those awesome pucks. And I want to hear feedback from you guys too when you get these products, and let me know how you're utilizing them. And because that's what she wants to hear. She wants to hear, everybody's got different ideas, different ways that they can use things, and the variety that we're going through that you can set these up and make them work is pretty much endless. So let's get some feedback from you on those as well. So everybody, thank you for taking the time to post those questions and your comments. If we didn't get to your question and you still want it answered and we didn't answer it, shoot me an email, talkinglead@gmail.com, and I'll get with Renelle and we'll make sure we get you an answer.
And, make sure and go follow us over at Lockdown Secured on both Instagram and Facebook. I'm always doing something fun. We're always doing giveaways or surveys or, really just trying to engage with you as consumers to find out what you guys want, what I can get for you. So
there you go.
Give us a follow and make sure you're on that email list for those vault doors, and you guys can be some of the exclusive testers.
There you go, Leadheads. If you're interested in that, make it happen. Go sign up for that newsletter. And what are you on? I guess you're just at Lockdown on Instagram and Facebook?
At Lockdown Secured.
Lockdown Secured. There you go. Make sure you go follow them, like them, leave a comment, let Renelle know how much you appreciate her being on and giving you these awesome prizes. And who knows, maybe she'll come back and do it again with us sometime.
I'd love to.
Well, when those new products come out, you'll have to definitely come back on and we'll talk about those. The ones you can't talk about that you gave us a little hint about.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. You guys are going to love it.
Oh, I can't wait. I love new stuff.
And we're going to be doing a really cool, starting in February, for those products I can't talk about that I'm going to talk about to you off the show. Uh-huh. We are going to have a really neat giveaway, a really neat contest that you guys are going to want to stay tuned with starting in the January, February timeframe.
Oh, okay. First of the year kind of stuff. Nice. Kicking off the new year right. Can't wait. All right, Leadheads, make sure you go and support all the sponsors that make this show possible. Mission First Tactical, missionfirsttactical.com. Use the code LEADHEAD. You're going to get 20% off at Mission First Tactical. Those are the awesome dump trays that you see that I've been holding up. They do the magazines, 30-round AR magazines, and the AR furniture. Seal1.com. LEADHEAD is the code you use there to get 25% off at Seal1 for all your gun cleaning, CLP, cleaning, lubrication, and protection needs. Go to seal1.com. Nemo Arms. You can go to Nemo Arms, and you can get 10% off any of their firearms, their suppressors, their handguns. Who's offering 10% off on any of their stuff right now? Everybody's charging like double these days. TL10 gets you 10% off at Nemo Arms. Factory 47, Leadhead, gets you 10% off. That's our AK Corner logoed accessories and apparel at Factory 47, 10% off. Leadhead. Try to keep it the same across the board if you haven't noticed there. 1776 United. Do you see the awesome Talking Lead logo shirts that I'm wearing here? Our official Talking Lead logos, our Leadhead Brigade logos, 1776 United. You get 20% off. Use the code Talking Lead. And I think this is the time of year basically where everybody's like having Black Friday sales and everything anyway. Mm-hmm. So you probably get some even better deals. Just visit their website, see what they've got going on. I noticed Lockdown's got a lot of things marked down right now on their website. So no code needed for those. So go check them out. Christmas is coming up, and there's going to be a shortage of everything. So go ahead and lock in your Christmas presents now. All right, Leadheads, until the next episode, as always, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer and more secure with all the Lockdown products.